continuing on the topic of what gets people into debt and how do they end up in my office, I want to talk about something called big shot-itis. Yes, I made it up. Big shot-itis is someone who is trying to get rich quick. Nothing wrong with trying to make money, nothing wrong with trying to make a lot of money, and nothing wrong with trying to speed up the time frame in which you can make that money. However, as a wise man once told me, the more you wish to make, the more you have to sacrifice, and the more unlikely you are to hit your goal. And the faster you try to do it, same thing applies. If you look, here's the thing: if you start a business, businesses fail. Okay, businesses fail. That seems to be what they do best, as opposed to make money. I know myself. I've been in business now for almost 11 years. I have 2 failures prior to this. Okay, in my 20s, I had one that never made a penny, and I had another one that barely made a penny. And then I got a job for 8.5 years and tried again. And that time it worked. All right. It took me, I guess, 3 times the charm. Other people get it right the first time. And that can actually be detrimental to you sometimes. Believe it or not, sometimes it's better to fail first. Sounds strange. Get into that. And that's a topic for another video, actually. But when I talk about big shot-itis, I'm talking about people who either rush into things or are consumed with the idea of getting the big score so much that they don't do their due diligence, or they don't approach the business with the right attitude. This also happens with investing. I'm starting to see a lot more, hey, what happened? I lost $50,000 on crypto. I know about that with crypto. So I'm not about to say, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. I don't give investment advice anyways. But boy, I'm seeing a lot of it. I'm also seeing it with people who bought marijuana stocks. See that too. But what's the underlying theme here? I think it comes down to 2 things, especially when it comes to business. If you're looking to start a business, okay, and your motivation is, well, I want to start a business because I don't want to work. I want other people to work for me. You better be something special, I'll tell you. You better be one of these wunderkinds, natural-born leader, Steve Jobs type, single vision, reality distortion field, nothing gets in your way type guy. Because if you're not, that's the wrong reason, guys. You don't get into business so you don't have to work. I can tell you right now, done properly, you're going to work harder than you ever have at any other job in your life. I can still take my stomach and do that just by thinking of the first 3-4 years in business. That doesn't mean I relax now. Every month I'm watching the numbers, I'm playing with the dials, I'm doing everything I can. It's an endless struggle, even when you have an established business and life for the most part is pretty good. I have to admit it's stressful, but it's good. Someone who gets into business with that attitude, you're kind of dooming yourself from the start, because unless you fit that criteria I mentioned before, or you happen to be exceptionally well financed, the business is probably going to fail due to a lack of effort or a lack of proper oversight. And we see this. I see it with some businesses. I see it a lot with people who want to have rental properties. There's this assumption out there that landlording is easy. You buy a place and you collect your rent checks and you sit around and poke at your belly button and do whatever you want. And when a toilet breaks, you get your minions to do the work for you. Good luck. I suppose if you own 3,000 rental units and you've been doing this for years and there's a nice family fortune underlying everything and you're not a complete and total dolt, then it's not so bad, but there's still work involved. So I have met people who, you can see their attitude wasn't to build something. It wasn't to create something great. It wasn't to, create jobs and build wealth for future generations and, have the satisfaction of having built something from nothing. It tends to be, I don't want to work. And it's a real bad attitude. If that is your attitude towards business, I'm going to suggest that you need an adjustment there. You need to grow up a little. Okay, sorry if I just smacked a bunch of people across the face, but really, guys, it doesn't work that way. Every successful business owner I know except for maybe one. Okay, and that one is dangerous, has just worked their tail off for a good 10 to 15 years. Then they got their employees to do everything for them. Okay. Funny enough, as I said earlier, I said that one guy can be a problem. The success can be a problem sometimes, because you know what the biggest problem is with the big shotitis? Big shotitis is for every 100 potential big shots, there will be 2 or 3 who succeed through just, circumstance, chance. They did a few things right. Maybe they hooked up with the right people. And of course, everyone looks at that guy or that woman and says, you see, it's possible that should be me. It's kind of like saying, well, this guy became a rock star. I'll pick up a guitar and become a rock star too. There's more to it than that. It's the same thing with lotteries. You're not going to win the lottery. You're not. Okay? And you'll say, but people win the lottery. Yeah, they do. It's just not you. And it won't be. Probably thinking, boy, this guy takes the fun out of everything. I do sometimes. But when you see people trying to get rich quick, after a while, it kind of grates on you. And I suppose I should be grateful. They become clients. But, hitting it big in the stock market, same idea. You look at people in general who are successful investors. Yeah, there may be the odd deal, the odd investment they made, the mad money as they call it, where, wow, look at the return I got on this. I invested this and I got that and it was amazing. And those big short type situations are often once in a lifetime, maybe twice in a lifetime. They're reserved for people who can afford to play at the casino, so to speak. The casino is not the place you go to make money and to survive. The casino is where you go because you have a little bit of fun money, and hey, if you happen to get lucky once, terrific. It's the same thing with the stock market. Successful investors, it tends to be long haul, a lot of study, a lot of time spent, a lot of diligence. And problem is, nobody wants to hear that. People want to know the secret sauce. They want to know, how do I turn $1,000 into 10 million overnight? In a lot of cases, it's just not the case. That's not the result you're going to get. If your intent is to get rich quick, you're probably going to put in a lot of money and not see many returns. And the problem with big shotitis as well is, because you're not doing your due diligence, you're more likely to be taken in. I see a lot of situations where people have been screwed by their partner. And in most cases, this partner had greater financial resources than the person sitting in front of me. As a result, they were able to take advantage of their ambition and their eagerness to get a big score. And in fairness to the people who, I'm painting a picture here as someone who's just, overly ambitious and foolish. And there is a lot of that. But in fairness to them, I do remember a time when I actually had ambition. I still have ambition. I'm just older now. I take tremendous pleasure in very, very simple things. It's a blessing. It really is. It really is. But, it's understandable to want more in life, and especially, I mentioned a lot of my clients are immigrants. A lot of my clients who get a case of big shotitis were big shots or on their way to becoming big shots in their country of origin. They were engineers, they were lawyers, they were doctors, they were surgeons. They had a business that was thriving, and for whatever reason they had to leave. There was whatever was happening at home, civil war, strife, famine, governments that were beyond corrupt. Who knows? It's all kinds of things. And now they're in Canada, and their human capital is being wasted. And by wasted, I don't mean there's any dishonor in sweeping floors, but if you say to yourself, boy, I know I can do more than this. I know I have more to offer. I understand. And in a lot of cases, the way to do that, to offer something, is to start a business. I get it. That's where the success story of many successful immigrants who started businesses came from. But at the same time, you have to understand, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. Anyways, that's yet another reason we see often enough here that it's something that was sitting right here, and I can explain to you. More to come.